Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. My name's David. Today I've got a video here from Pierre Poilievre talking about the thieves and crime in Toronto. Toronto crime has increased 300%. And there's some really weird ways people are getting around this, trying to prevent their vehicles from being stolen, which I'll show you afterwards, which is hilarious, yet effective.
Common sense priorities required now more than ever after 8 years of Justin Trudeau. He's not worth the cost, and he's not worth the crime. Because after 8 years of Trudeau, crime, chaos, drugs, and disorder have followed his catch and release policies, his mismanagement of the federal RCMP, and his allowance for corruption at our ports. After 8 years of Justin Trudeau, car thefts are up 300% in Toronto, 100% in Ottawa and Montreal.
Crazy.
It wasn't like this before Justin Trudeau, as he admitted in a press release last week. Since his government was elected in 2015, there's been a 34% nationwide increase in car theft. In New Brunswick, car thefts have spiked 120%, while Ontario and Quebec have seen rises of 122 and 59% respectively. The explosion of car theft is making life even more unaffordable for Canadians, as insurance companies drive up their premiums in order to compensate for the cost of replacing the stolen cars. Canadians are now paying an extra $1 billion in insurance premiums because of the problem of car theft that Trudeau created. In Ontario, car theft claims were up 329% in the first half of 2023, adding up to $700 million of additional losses, according to the Insurance Bureau, which estimates the cost to every driver of Justin Trudeau's car theft crisis is $130. $130 per Canadian motorist in higher insurance to pay for the Trudeau car theft crisis.
Where's that carbon tax now? Seems that gets wiped out just by this one fact alone with the car thefts. That's crazy. $1 billion? Just think what you can do with $1 billion. This is crazy, man. They put in, what's that bill? Bill C-70, something like that. Basically, it's the catch and release bail reform that just allows the criminals to not go to jail. It's just dumb. They give in house arrest. Like, it's just stupid. You steal a car and you get to stay at home. Like, what is that? Who came up with that? It's so corrupt. It's unbelievable.
This is happening because Justin Trudeau's dangerous catch and release policies have unleashed crime and chaos in our communities. Bill C-75 allows repeat offenders to be out on bail within hours of arrest. Then they promptly reoffend. Police are powerless to stop career car thieves, and even after those thieves are convicted, Trudeau's Bill C-5 allows them to serve their sentence in their living room, watching Netflix, until they open their front door and go out and steal yet another car. This means that Canadians are living in fear. His mismanagement has allowed organized crime to take over the operations and the running of our federal ports and use them to transport cars stolen in places like Brampton to the Middle East, to Africa, and to parts of Europe where they
So I'm going to be showing you guys a clip of that coming up, which is really shocking.
Are resold to organized crime and terrorist networks to profit evil all around the world. Today I'm announcing that a Pierre Poilievre government will go after the real criminals by restoring jail, not bail, jail, not bail for repeat violent offenders and career car thieves.
Put them in jail.
We will bring in mandatory jail time, and we will end house arrest for career car thieves. We will toughen sentences for gang-associated car thieves with the following plan. 1, we will increase prison time, mandatory prison time, for repeat car thieves from 6 months to 3 years. 2, we will remove eligibility for house arrest if convicted of a motor vehicle theft by way of indictment. 3, we will create a new specific aggravating factor where the offense of motor vehicle theft is committed on behalf of organized crime. And 4, we will repeal catch and release rules in Justin Trudeau's C-75 to ensure repeat offenders get jail and not bail.
The cars are being stolen in Toronto. They're put onto train cars and they're sent off to, the Middle East, Dubai, Africa. I've seen so many comments of people saying, oh yeah, I've had my vehicle stolen 4 times in the last 2 years. I've had my vehicle stolen 6 times in the last 3 years. It's crazy. I saw one guy say he had the same truck stolen 3 times. He kept on getting it back. They kept on stealing it. Another person had 2 vehicles in their driveway. They called the cops, say, hey, my vehicle's being stolen right now. The cops said they're too busy and they'd have to wait a bit. 40 minutes later, they come back and steal the second vehicle. I see these stories over and over and over in the comments section. Now let's take a look at one of the ones in Africa. So here we have a CBC reporter, believe it or not, in Africa. It says we found a Toronto man's stolen car in West Africa.
In one car, a phone number for the original owner, Leonard.
I'm gonna phone him.
This is wild.
Hello?
Hi, is that Leonard?
Yeah.
Leonard, this is gonna sound like a really weird call. My name is David Common. I'm calling from CBC News. We're doing an investigation into stolen vehicles, and I'm pretty sure I'm sitting in your once stolen vehicle in West Africa. Yeah, I'm in West Africa.
No way.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Do you mind if I FaceTime you?
I don't mind at all.
This just gets crazy.
Look like your car?
That's it. It was stolen September, October of last year.
And what happened?
My wife went out to get the car and it wasn't in the driveway. One video from the camera from the Ring doorbell. At about 3 in the morning, you see a car and 2 guys pull up towards the driveway. And about 4 minutes later, the light goes off. They're gone. The car's gone from the driveway. That's the second car stolen in 6 years.
Really?
From my driveway. Yeah.
I know this is probably not the call you expected today, but your ownership is still in the glove box. Here's your car. The car stolen from North York over there.
I can't believe it. And my documents and everything are still in there.
That's absolutely wild. They're finding them in West Africa. They're finding them in Dubai. It's just, this is terrible. Like, this is a serious problem in Canada. We have so many problems already. We don't need this. We don't need the crime. And the criminals know this. They 100% know this. I bet they're all gathering here because they know that Justin Trudeau is an absolute pushover. They know they can get away with it, so why not? That's what it comes down to. Places where people can get away with crimes, they're going to do them. That's just it. It's human behavior. Bad people will do bad things if they're allowed to. So next up, we have some other car thieves here. This is a little bit of lighter touch. There's something funny to throw in there.
There's a bear in your car! There's a bear in your car!
It just climbed in the sunroof.
I don't know what to do. Everybody get back!
He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Okay, Tony? So what are people in Toronto doing about the car thieves now? Believe it or not, they're installing these things. I think they're called bullards. It's like you see like at the bike lane in Vancouver or something. This is crazy, man. So you're wondering, how does this work? How do they get in there? Because obviously it's blocking it. They're retractable. I've got a video here. That That's crazy. That's just nuts. That this is the solution now. You have to get some of these things installed. Look at it. It's just like a garage door. I have a feeling the sales of these things are going to be going way up here once people realize these things are out there. There's some other solutions too. People are putting on like these. This is like the tow trucks put these things on. We've got some more bollards here. Different residents. And we have a combination of the both. We've got the car locks on all 4 tires and one of these bollard things. This is getting nuts, man. Like, this is what it takes to have a car in Canada. This is how bad the state of our country is. This is how bad the crime is. Like, really? This is Canada? This doesn't, like, this is not the Canada I grew up in. I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Alberta, and we would just ride our bikes and just run in the house. We just throw the bike on the grass and go in. No one would ever steal anything. There's no thieves. What's going on? Why do we have gangs and thugs taking cars willy-nilly? Like, as far as I'm concerned, we should have severe penalties for stealing cars, like 10 years in jail. Because who's going to want to risk stealing a car if they're going to get 10 years in jail? Really? Seriously? Like, somebody tweeted this out saying they need this in Canada as a car thief deterrent. Look at that thing. You guys can see what that is. So you can see here in this CBC article, more vehicles found in Africa. In this case, these ones are in Ghana. And this is that initial video that we saw. These ones had been stolen in Quebec in 2021. Yep, there's the plates. Right in the middle of Ghana, in the middle of Timbuk, nowhere in Africa. That's just it. They get put into these big metal containers and just shipped over there. It's like, this is absolutely ridiculous. This should be a major priority of the Trudeau government to solve this. But of course, Justin Trudeau doesn't give a crap about fixing anything. He's just working on how to make himself more rich. There's a bunch of Canadian cars just... Jeez. You got to wonder if there's a device that attaches to the steering wheel, and if someone steals it and it's not deactivated, unleashes a ton of electricity. You know, like shocks the person to the point where they'll hit the ground and not be able to move for like 20 minutes. I don't know if that product exists, but it should exist, because that would solve the problem. You wouldn't even need those bollards or any of that nonsense. It could exist so it's just on the inside, so you grab someone's car door handle, like say if a little kid accidentally grabbed the door handle, it wouldn't do anything. But if you grab the steering wheel, you would get zapped into oblivion. The next up here, we have some guys that stole cars in broad daylight from a dealership. There's no end to this.
3:40 Saturday afternoon for theft of a motor vehicle. They say 3 suspects entered this dealership, made off with 3 luxury vehicles. Here's what they got. The first, a black 2021 Rolls-Royce Dawn. It had no license plate. It sells for about $500,000. Next, a black 2022 Bentley Bentayga. It has Ontario plates CYAA 632. It's priced at around $300,000. Finally, a white 2020 Rolls-Royce Cullinan, Ontario plate CXCY 439. It sells for about $500,000.
How can they just walk in and steal all these cars? This is crazy. These are expensive cars. These aren't even like $100,000 cars, which are already super expensive. They're like $500,000 cars. Just walk in and take them.
Now, police released some photos of the suspects they're looking for. All were wearing masks, and it's obvious that the male suspects are dressed to look like employees, in particular technicians, possibly dressed to fit in with others on the shop floor. Vehicles were bound for the Port of Montreal and export.
The original police say 12 people have been arrested in connection with an alleged auto theft ring in the GTA. 9 high-end vehicles have been seized and 81 charges laid. Investigators say the accused were stealing vehicles from driveways and dealership lots and then fraudulently revinning the vehicles.
You see that? They're all 26 to 20 years old, 23 to 26. Yeah, I don't know, man. 10 years in jail. Just put them all in jail.
The investigation identified a group of individuals that were operating within the GTA and were responsible for sourcing revinned stolen vehicles, fraudulently re-registering them, and then proceeding to traffic those vehicles throughout southwestern Ontario.
Even after the investigations, they catch them all that. It's like 6 months at home arrest. That is just ridiculous. These people cause so much suffering to the people who are having their vehicles stolen. People who work years and years and years to be able to buy a vehicle and spend years and years paying them off. And these guys can just take them and get a 6-month slap on the wrist. 10 years in jail. 10 years in jail. I don't think 3 years is enough. I mean, it needs to be so unbearable, the price of stealing a vehicle, that no one will want to do it.
Nathan, we saw Audis, Jaguars, Range Rovers, mostly high-end cars that would fetch high prices on the black market, stolen in Toronto at a rate of more than 32 a day. Carmen Gagliardi's $91,000 Ram truck was only 4 days old when thieves spied it in his driveway. His surveillance video shows within about 30 seconds they're inside.
And you see the way they just came up the driveway. It's like they knew what they were doing.
Maybe because they've had a lot of practice. Vehicle thefts in Toronto continue to surge. 9,747 cars were stolen so far this year. That's more than double the same period in 2019. Some stolen with high-tech equipment, others taken by force in carjackings.
This level of threat and crime is unacceptable to me as the chief of police.
One reason Toronto police launched Project Stallion last year, an operation that resulted in almost 550 charges against 230 people.
230 people. We have 230 people causing this much. It's a waste of resources. It's waste because the police could be doing other things. It's a waste of their resources, waste of our taxpayers' dollars. Throw these scumbag trash losers in jail for a long time. This is so dumb.
As for Gagliardi, thieves got in but didn't actually take his truck. His secret, an immobilizer.
Honestly, that $2,000, I gotta admit, was the best money I spent.
I tell you, if somebody tries to steal my vehicle and I find them, I will become the immobilizer. This is Justin Trudeau's Canada right here. So we got another video here showing car thieves hitting the Toronto Pearson Airport, because there's nowhere they won't steal these cars from.
Parasar took his family on a Caribbean vacation during the last week of October. Parked his 2022 Lexus at Pearson Airport's main lot at Terminal 1. Picture of his car in the spot. You came home, and what did you find in that spot?
It was a whole different vehicle, unfortunately.
His car was gone. Thieves likely had his vehicle on a shopping list when they plucked it from the parking lot.
It's organized crime, and it's very hard for us to manage it.
Been a staggering number of auto thefts at Pearson this year. 410.
410 vehicles stolen from the Pearson Airport. Are you kidding me? Baffling, man. How do they... These are places with tons of surveillance. How are all these people not in jail? Oh, that's right. They're at home watching Netflix and playing Xbox on home arrest. Home arrest if they get caught.
A large portion of them are actually leaving the country. You'll see about 80% of them going out through the ports.
After a steal, thieves move cars quickly to shipping containers where GPS tracking is muffled, then placed on tractor trailers or rail lines to the Port of Montreal. It is a long journey into a world full of snatched cars. Cars seized by Ghana's Economic and Organized Crime Office. Alex Lindsay runs surveillance for the office. Even he admits all this is just the tip of the iceberg.
I think the Canadian courts need to be more proactive in trying to stop it before even it gets down here.
There you go, Justin Trudeau, security guy in Ghana, is giving you some advice, buddy. Why don't you take it?
Okay, this is wild. We're just driving along through traffic. There's a car with a Cpac license plate on the road.
They're trying to intercept the radio frequency between that key fob and the vehicle.
I think car manufacturers need to put in better security measures. That's ridiculous. Some guy with some homemade antenna can just steal the fob frequency right out of the house and start your car. That's so stupid. That's like, there's a bunch of problems here.
This video shows the criminals hard at work on Zane's brand new SUV. It took an hour to get the vehicle started before they eventually drove away. 2 weeks later, criminals struck again, stealing the loaner SUV, this time in about 30 seconds.
They definitely look like a professional gang. Look at it, they're not even in a rush. The individual's just walking back.
Well, there you have it. Car thieves in Canada just stealing anything and everything. Rolls Royce, no problem. Just go take it right from the dealership. No problem. Steal something right out of someone's driveway. No problem. They get a loaner car. Steal that too. Why not? At this point, you think the police would plant some locations in some high-end neighborhoods and then be perched in the windows with like a stun gun or like a tranq dart or something, tranq these guys and throw them in jail for 10 years and we won't see these guys for a decade. That's where we should be with this. And after 10, 15, 20, 100 of these guys get put away in jail for 10 years each, I think the rest of them would probably scurry off and go to another country. I'd like to know if these people are born here or if they just came here. Are these people who come from Ghana and all these West Africa, these places, and then they're selling them there? Or are they just from random countries? They came here and they're just stealing cars. This whole thing is absolutely ridiculous, and Trudeau is an absolute fool and a loser for not putting forward some real effort to solve this problem, because it's out of control. Hopefully you guys learned a bit about this. If you live in Toronto area, whatever, you should definitely get some of those methods of deterring the vehicles, like this yellow car boot thing here. If you guys are looking for something a little bit more upbeat and chill and not quite as stressful as car thieves, I have an adventure hiking channel, which I'll link up here if you want to check that out. If you want some more Trudeau madness, there's that as well. Be sure to subscribe with post notifications. I'll see you guys in the next one.